Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com, a channel that is devoted to all things to do with handmade carpets from around the world. Welcome you to our channel. Hope you and your family are doing well. In today's episode, I'm going to be featuring several Tabriz Persian rugs as examples and show you literally the decline of Persian rugs, especially when it comes to the high quality Persian rugs that has become so noticeable for about the last 20 years that we are now officially, basically it's been confirmed by the Iranian government as well recently when they announced the latest export figures and just the rug production figures in general. It is pretty much official that unfortunately the high-end Persian rug industry as a whole, the handmade one, is almost going the same route, the same way that the Turkish rug production went in the 80s, and then basically all pretty much gone by the mid-90s. And so this is also in response to some of the questions that I've been getting from viewers as well as clients to our websites, who have basically asked me, they say, Mike, we're looking for particular kind of rugs. Like, for example, here we have a Faraji, a Tabriz rug. 20 years ago, if you had asked me, they said, Mike, I'm looking for a particular size or runner or something, and I always use the perfect example of a 3-meter, a 10-foot runner. We used to get them made for us by the Faraji workshop. We were one of the premier clients, and so being that we're in the wholesale business, and then I also had my own little website with mprugs.com. Well, we used to get these we used to joke about them by the containers, but we could pretty much always count on a steady supply of rugs, runners, and all sizes and everything. And those are pretty much, that's gone. In the last 10 years or so, the workshop, the Faraji workshop in Tabriz, the same has been with, for example, the Jafari family. That was one of the pioneers, one of the best known Gombat, the dome design weavers in Tabriz. Or, for example, Perusian, Mahi, same thing again. You have famous, highly respected workshops, been around for decades. They don't exist anymore. What you have now is individual weavers that either worked for them or were trained by them, and they make a few rugs here and there in their homes, and then they sell them in the bazaars. So in this video, I'm going to actually show you examples of literally examples of workshops that have declined, and why there's a very good chance that I'm going to be the last person in my family, the last generation, that is going to be in the rug business. But I'm also going to explain and show you different examples. And it's not just my opinion. We have, for example, an article written by the New York Times that is also, the link is below, and this is an article that was written in 2016 where it talked about the decline. And this has become, like I said, so noticeable, and this is something that I've been asked about by so many folks that I thought I'm just going to show you an actual example like we have. And this started basically, I want to say, in the late 70s. And as I oftentimes have mentioned in some of my other videos, my father was very adamant about me not going into the carpet business. And like, of course, most people, I pretty much ignored what my dad requested. But he told me back in the early 80s, he said, son, you know what, go to college, make something out of yourself. Don't follow in my footsteps, because this industry is changing, and he didn't think it was changing for the better. And that was in the early 80s. And we have seen it, steady decline, a decline that has been accelerated by a few things. You have, obviously, there is a lot of political pressures. We're talking about, well, it's an Iranian product, and well, at the time you're watching this video, all you have to do is turn on the news. You know, there's things like sanctions, embargoes, just political stuff. But in addition to that, you also have economic factors, such as the value fluctuations of currencies. A lot of people are not aware of it, how in the rug industry, you have the weavers, the workshops. Well, everyone has to rely on stream of money. You cannot just have money, there's money coming and going. It's a business. But when the currency changes its value so rapidly, one way or another, then it becomes almost impossible for you as a carpet weaver to plan ahead. Here is a perfect example. Like I said, I'm going to use the Farajis as an example. We have this beautiful, gorgeous piece right here. And well, I would love, I have made videos about the Farajis also, where I feature them, because they're just absolutely perfect examples of what a high quality Tabriz rug is all about. But here are several examples. But here you have a carpet that would take, it can take professional weavers. This is about, I'm going to say about 6 or 7 months worth of work. And we're talking 2 weavers, full-time job. This is a silk foundation. Yeah, 6, 7 months. But here's the problem. When you start making the rug and then you finish it 7 months later, you're talking about, in 7 months, the salary has to be doubled, if not tripled, by the time he started making the rug. And so when you have that type of an economic uncertainty, it takes away the means of a lot of businesses to stay in business, so to speak. You cannot pay someone and say, start making me a rug, and then before the rug is finished, they need to get a pay raise almost on a monthly basis, just in order for their paycheck to be worth as much at the end of the month as it was at the beginning of the month. This is what basically hyperinflation is. And in addition to that, you have the political stuff. Then you also have the changing of attitudes. A lot of what I call basically the Instagram generation, the younger folks, and I guess I used to thought of myself as being one of them. Now I'm realizing I'm getting, I guess, a bit old. But the younger folks, the younger generation, don't seem to have the same amount of appreciation for the workmanship, for the artisanship, for the time that goes into making something. They basically want something and they want to be able to replace it after a few years, whether it's furnishings, whether it's home decor, whether it's clothing. It seems like the attention span seems to be getting shorter and shorter. And so there is a change in buyer's taste. That is also affecting the market. And also you have competition. Whereas in the past there was Persian rugs, synonymous, we're talking about Iran, we're talking about the Harake rugs in Turkey. Well, then all of a sudden, starting in the 90s, actually in the 80s, it started with the Persian rugs, where you all of a sudden you had the influx of the Indian rugs coming in, Pakistan, and then in the 90s, China came in on top of it, decimated the Turkish, the Hareke rug business. And the same thing here. So you have all kinds of stuff. And last but not least, I'm going to put it on there, also the bad reputation that people in the rug business have. Let's face it. And this was something I always tell my clients. If you go to my website at mprugs.com, you will never, ever hear me talk about a rug as being an investment, nor do I ever tell people that they should invest in rugs. If you want to invest your money, go. That's what we have the stock market for. Go get a financial advisor, do whatever you want to do, real estate, gold, I don't care. But when you are looking at something that is handmade, that is affected by economics, politics, social changes, I would always tell my clients, you buy a rug because you want it, because you appreciate it, and you hope that someday you will get something out of it. But it's the joy of owning. It's not, in my opinion, should ever be considered to be an investment. And like I said, I thought I'm just going to talk about it because there is a very good chance it's becoming more and more difficult to get these types of high quality rugs. And again, I'm just going to using the Faraji here as an example. 20 years ago, the Faraji workshop, my uncle talked about it. He said they could have 100 people working there. The workshop doesn't exist anymore. There is no more Faraji business. There is a little shop in the bazaar where individual weavers that used to work for them, they have obtained the rights to the designs. They can produce the rugs in small numbers. They oftentimes do it in their homes or something, and then they take them to the bazaar in order to sell the rugs. But the concept of a large facility where you had dozens of weavers working there, and it was almost a quasi, almost like a production line, that is completely gone. Another example, for example, we have the Turkish Hareke industry that went through the same thing. The Hareke, the Turkish Hareke rugs, and a perfect example, you have the Faraji, the Tabriz rug. Then you have, for example, you have the Aussie Pack workshop. Well, the Aussie Packs went from being a workshop to being an association to being completely wiped out. And I have no doubt in my mind that in 20 years from now and 30 years from now, the Farajis, as well as the Perusians, as well as the Jaffais, these are all headed the same way. You have younger generations who were not accustomed to going into a workshop. They heard about or they saw how their parents and their relatives wove rugs in their basements and all that stuff. But there is a difference in a kid like me, for example, who grew up in a rug business, and maybe my grandchildren who will never literally set foot in the rug business. They will have some of my, I guess, DNA that has something about carpets in it, but they don't understand what it means. So there's a very good chance. I would be surprised if I were to have grandkids that if they have anything to do with the rugs. But that is where things are going. And that is also why I mentioned to many of you that have asked me about them, is if you're looking for specific rugs from certain weavers in specific sizes, best example, I'm just going to use the Perusian. There was a time when we could get round Perusians and our clients absolutely loved them. Well, I have not seen a new round Perusian being made in I don't know how many years. This is unfortunate. I think I sold my last one, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get another one. The workshop is gone. And so I thought I make this video and try to explain to you guys not only my views, but show you actual examples of famous workshops um, in Tabriz. And this is a perfect, it's happening throughout Iran. It is not just in Tabriz and everything, but I thought I'd show you actual examples of workshops that were popular, famous, that have been around for God knows how many decades, and then they all pretty much have gone away in the last 5 or 10 years or so. So thought I'd give you guys my take on it. As I mentioned in all of my videos, if you have any questions, there's a lot of links below in the description. But if you have questions about a rug that you may have, I always make myself available to the viewers as well as to our clients at mprugs.com. Feel free to watch the video below in the description. It shows you what type of pictures I need and what size and everything. Simply email them to me and I'll be certainly take a look and give you a quick answer. Also, it's a channel that is devoted to give you as much actual information about handmade carpets. So if this is something that you're interested in, feel free to subscribe. There is a ton of other videos, like I said, with the Faraji rugs, extremely popular. I have a link I'm going to put below. This has to do with the actual Faraji rugs where I featured them. They're just some of the most elegant designs in Persian rugs, and the design is actually named after, unfortunately, the non-existing workshop anymore. It's a Faraji design named after the Faraji workshop. So I hope this video might have given you some insights into what is happening. I would love to be proven wrong. I don't think I am. The decline is there. It's been very much noticeable, and I don't think it's going to be changing anytime soon. So hope this video might have been of help to you, informational. I hope to see you again soon for our next videos. In the meantime, wish you all the best. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.